On our last visit to World Cup land, we took another peek at the second round of Asian qualifying, including this screamer from Abdul Rahman of the United Arab Emirates. On this edition though, we're looking at the second legs of the second round in North America, including this, the game of the round, Guyana v St.Vincent and the Grenadines at the Providence Stadium in Providence. And strap yourself in, because this one's going to be mental. And the scoring opened in the 16th minute through Samuel for St. Vincent, giving them a 3-2 aggregate lead. However, St. Vincent's lead was only short-lived as Guyana's Welshman came up with a header in the 39th minute.
Excellent play there. Excellent. That was a perfect play. And as I did say, Wilson owed us something.
2 minutes later though, the ball was back in the Guyanese net, as Slater made it 2-1.
And they have scored, so another blunder there for the Golden Jaguars
After that apparent blunder by the Golden Jaguars of Guyana, it was St. Vincent's turn as they somehow conceded a foul here. It was either a handball or an elbow, can't tell, but Beresford converted the penalty to make it 2-2.
Very powerful shot. McDowell had no opportunity of getting close to that ball, and it went right in.
With the game poised at 4-4 on aggregate, any hopes of it going to extra time were dashed when Slater made it 3-2 to St. Vincent in the 57th minute.
And it's unbelievable how flat-footed the defense was at.
In the 66th minute, St. Vincent and the Grenadines were 4-2 up as Anderson put in his contender for goal of the tournament.
That is a scorcher. And there again, any player there with that amount of space.
The scoring did not stop there though, as in the 76th minute, Welshman of Guyana made it 4-3 with his second.
Keep it there, and it looks like it will be a goal here. Goal for Guyana. Welshman once again.
And with 4 minutes left to play, Guyana equalised once again to make it 4-4 through former Crystal Palace midfielder Neil Dans. However, it was not enough, as St. Vincent went through on away goals after a 6-6 aggregate draw. After a 0-0 first leg draw, Cuba hosted Curacao at the Estadio Pedro Marrero in Havana and took the lead in the 5th minute through Marquez. The commentator had barely had any time to stop going goal when Curacao equalised through Morencia in the 16th minute. It stayed that way, and Curacao would go through on away goals after a 1-1 aggregate draw. The Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in North Sound, Antigua and Barbuda was the host once again, as St. Lucia didn't have a suitable stadium for their home leg. And Antigua and Barbuda made that home advantage count with a 70th minute goal from Parker. However, they were still 3-2 down on aggregate, and they conceded this penalty in the 81st minute. The penalty was scored by Frederick, and St. Lucia seemed to be heading into the third round with cruise control. However, Antigua had other ideas, and those other ideas began in the 85th minute when Harriet made it 2-1 on the day to Antigua.
But they're trying to attack now. Can somebody get a goal here? Can somebody get a goal here? The flag stays down, so it's 2 goals now for Antigua. It's 2-1, but they're running out of time.
They were indeed running out of time, and thankfully for Antigua and Barbuda, Parker scored his second to make it 4-4 on aggregate in the 3rd minute of injury time.
Yes, goal for Antigua. And it's the captain. Goal, Joshua Parker, goal. So we should be here.
The relief on Antiguan faces turned into absolute joy 2 minutes later, as Tumwa fired home in the 5th minute of injury time to make it 4-1 on the day to Antigua and 5-4 on aggregate. They lived to survive another round. There was a lot less drama at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex in Cave Hill as Barbados hosted Aruba with a 2-0 lead from the first leg. And in the 78th minute, dodgy Aruban defending meant that Holligan could open up and make it 3-0 on aggregate. 1-0 on the day. Final score. Belize took a 2-1 lead into their second leg against the Dominican Republic at the FFB Stadium in Belmopan, and it took them 17 minutes to open the scoring in the second leg through Roches. We didn't catch much build-up for the second goal, but Coylan scored it in the 37th minute. After those nifty dance moves, we had to wait until the 76th minute for Macaulay to make it 3-0 to Belize, and 5-1 on aggregate. Bermuda took on Guatemala at the Bermuda National Stadium in Devonshire, and after a 0-0 first leg, both teams were probably just hoping to score a goal. Guatemala scored a goal in the 25th minute through Sincota, and it was the only goal, meaning they went through 1-0 on aggregate, 1-0 on the day. Toronto's BMO Field hosted Canada against Dominica as Canada looked to extend their 2-0 first leg lead. Akindele helped in the 4th minute, making it 1-0. And in the 41st minute, Larin would add to the goal he scored in the first leg to make it 2-0.
There's a strike and it's a goal! Kyle Larin.
In the second half, Akindele would set up Ricketts to make it 3-0 in the 52nd minute.
Moving up the left flank, cross into the middle, goal!
5 minutes later, Canada were handed the opportunity to make it 4-0 in this kerfuffle where a foul happened. Probably a foul or a handball. However, David Edgar missed the penalty, or at least it was saved. They did make it 4-0 a little later though, as Ricketts added his second in the 77th minute. Final score 4-0, 6-0 on aggregate. We were at the National Cricket Stadium in St. George's next as Puerto Rico took their 1-0 home leg lead to Grenada. Grenada took the lead in the 34th minute when Morales' clearance was sliced into his own net. Celebration of the day goes to the Grenadian goalkeeper, who, well, yeah. It was left late for the winner, and Grenada got it, as Jamal Charles scored in the 81st minute. Meaning Grenada win 2-0 on the day and 2-1 on aggregate. Another country taking a 1-0 home leg lead into their second leg was Nicaragua, as they went to the Andre Campavine Stadium in Paramaribo, Suriname. And Suriname took the lead in the 3rd minute through Fer. Unlike the last game though, Nicaragua struck back pretty quickly through Legrius in the 26th minute. Nicaragua cemented their lead in the 51st minute when Rosas smashed in this free kick. Chavarria finished the job in the 3rd minute of injury time to give Nicaragua a 3-1 win on the day and 4-1 win on aggregate. The last match on the video took place at what I would call the most impressive ground on the video, the Estadio Cuscatlan in San Salvador, as El Salvador took on St. Kitts and Nevis with a 2-2 first leg draw. And El Salvador got the goal scoring started pretty quickly as Keren scored in the 2nd minute. And despite the opening, we had to wait until the 54th minute for Bonilla to score here. From then, it all started to fall apart for St. Kitts and Nevis as they conceded this penalty. Their goalkeeper did manage to save it, but Alvarez scored the rebound in the 62nd minute. St. Kitts and Nevis did manage to get a consolation goal as Harris headed home in the 69th minute. That goal did not stop El Salvador, however, and they did get their 4th as Nelson Bonilla got his 2nd in the 80th minute. A comfortable win for El Salvador as they were 4-1 winners on the day and 6-3 winners on aggregate. And that's that for the video. Unfortunately, there's no more World Cup qualifiers until September. In the meantime, why don't you let me know your favourite World Cup matches in the comments below, and we might make a Hall of Fame video. Like and subscribe!